Thank you for joining this cooking session. And this cooking session and the entire project is called Cooking for Peace. And the aim is to promote the work of Asian American communities to inspire conversations on traditional dishes and their rich historical legacies. The overall goal is to celebrate cultures of peace and diversity, but also the impact of colonization, war, displacement, and resilience of community. We are hoping that this project will help us to enhance dialogue with the broader community to promote inclusive democracies, understand the histories of displacement, but also people's lives. We are also aiming to foster intergenerational empowerment and provide training and resources, and also I think build bridges and allies in North Carolina and all over the United States for solidarity and power and unity and peace building. So today it's a great pleasure to have two people from North Carolina, and this is Gulnoza and Rano. So I will ask you to take a lead and warm welcome to this project. And I also want to add that North Carolina Asian American Organization is funding this project, and Fian, who is with us, provided a lot of support to make this happen. So cheers for the work that you have done, Fian. Thank you so much. And Fian has a magic hand and make things happen so easily, and always has been supporting me so much. And I think we all developed like some senses, and Fian sends me emails in the right time when I'm exactly thinking about it. It's the energy and the way we work together as a team was an amazing experience. So thank you, Fian. So Gulnoza and Rano.
Здравствуйте, девочки. Меня зовут Рано Ziyadullaeva. Я родилась в Узбекистане, в городе Ташкенте. В США переехала в 2012 году. Живу в городе Morrisville, в Северной Каролине. Я пенсионерка, поэтому мое любимое хобби – это готовить узбекские блюда. Одно из моих любимых блюд – это узбекский плов, который я с удовольствием поделюсь с вами своим рецептом. Я рада присутствовать на этой cooking session, которую организовала доктор Зульфия Турсунова. Немного об истории узбекского плова.
I will translate now. Good afternoon. My name is Rano Ziyadullaeva, and I was born in Uzbekistan in the city of Tashkent. I am retired, and I moved to the United States in 2012. And my favorite hobby is cooking, and I like to cook very much Uzbek traditional dishes, and I will be glad to share with the recipe of Uzbek traditional plov today with you guys. And I also will tell a little bit about the history of Uzbek plov. And I'm also very happy to be at this cooking session that's been hosted by Dr. Zulfia Tursunova. So now I will talk about a little bit about the history of Uzbek plov.
В давние времена у одного правителя одной страны Центральной Азии был сын принц. Этот принц полюбил девушку из семьи бедного ремесленника, но он не мог жениться на ней, так как браки были такие запрещены. Бедный принц очень переживал, горевал, ничего его не радовало жизни, и от страдания он стал болеть от истощения. И тогда его привели к знаменитому врачу и ученому Востока Абу Алиеву Сину, которого в народе называют Авиценна. Авиценна обследовал его и пригласил человека, который знал всех жителей этого региона. И этот человек по просьбе Авиценны, начал перечислять все кварталы и жителей этого квартала. Авиценна по пульсу принца угадал место и имя девушки, по которой принц страдал. Тогда Авиценна приказал поварам приготовить такое блюдо, чтобы насытить его организм. И через некоторое время ему приготовили блюдо с рисом. И через некоторое время принц выздоровел, а правитель был вынужден сыграть свадьбу с этой девушкой. На свадьбе было подано это блюдо, которое всем очень понравилось. И это блюдо назвали пловом.
I will translate now. Once upon a time, a son of one of the ruler in Central Asia fell in love with the daughter of poor craftsman. And sadly, local laws prohibited such a marriage. And Prince lost his appetite and his sleep. And Prince became so exhausted that he was taken to the healer. At that time, there was a very famous healer and scientist, Abu Ali ibn Sina Avicenna. And the healer decided to figure out what's going on with the prince by using his tools. And he called one person who knew very well the people who lived in that territory, and he asked to name all the districts there. Once one district was announced, Prince's pulse went up. Once the girl's name was pronounced, the Prince's pulse went extremely high. And at that time, the healer figured out what's going on with the prince, and he prescribed a treatment for him, that he should eat a high-calorie meal until his strength is fully recovered. And the healer called cooks and asked them to cook a meal with rice and meat. Lately, they named that meal Plov. Later, a couple married, and Plov was served at their wedding. And that's one of the reasons why Uzbek people serve Plov at the weddings. So now I want to introduce myself as well. So my name is Gulnoza Ishanova, and Rano is my mom who cooked Uzbek Plov today. And I live in Morrisville with my mom in North Carolina, and I work in American Airlines, and I also do the rental property business. And I also like cooking a lot. And I love Uzbek plov very much.
Так, сегодня мы приготовили плов из следующих ингредиентов. Оливковое масло 120 мл, лук белый 1 штук, мясо баранины килограмм, морковь 700 грамм, рис 500 грамм, горох концентрированный 450 грамм, зира 2 столовые ложки, соль, там вода, изюм 1 столовую ложку, чеснок целые 2 штуки, черный перец, горошек, пол чайной ложки и турмерик 2 столовые ложки.
So the ingredients of Uzbek plov are olive oil 120 milliliters, 1 big white onion, 1 kilogram of lamb, 700 grams of carrots, 500 grams of rice, and 450 grams of chickpeas, cumin, salt, water, 1 tablespoon of raisins, 2 whole garlics, black pepper, and turmeric.
Плов готовится в казане. Значит, готовим продукты. Лук чистим, шинкуем полукольцами. Берем мясо, промываем, делим на несколько больших кусков. У нас получилось где-то 5-6 частей. Чистим желтый морковь, режем соломкой. Берем казан, ставим на огонь, немножко прогреваем, потом наливаем масло и нагреваем несколько минут. Кладем лук и жарим с двух сторон до золотистого цвета. Потом кладем мясо, тоже жарим несколько минут. Так, кладем соль, зира, морковку кладем, тоже жарим несколько минут. Затем наливаем холодную воду, доводим до кипения. И туда кладем теперь чеснок, целый чеснок, черный перец горошки и изюм. И даем кипеть на медленном огне где-то около часа. Затем кладем промытый горох, еще кипятим 10 минут. Затем промываем рис и уже кладем промытый рис в казан. И добавляем воду, закрываем рис на полчаса. Сверху он должен быть, огонь должен быть сильный, да. Не размешиваем рис. Покипит 10 минут. Когда вода немножко выкипит, мы его сверху, первый слой переставляем, перемешиваем. И опять ставим, значит, он кипит еще 10 минут, через 10 минут опять мы таким же способом переворачиваем верхний слой риса. И еще минут 10 кипит, потом проверяем его на вкус рис. Он должен быть полувареный, не сырой и не переваристый. Затем еще раз переворачиваем верхний слой, делаем дырочки, собираем его в горку и закрываем тарелкой или какой-нибудь посудой, и сверху крышкой закрываем на полчаса или на 40 минут. Огонь убавляем, ставим на медленный огонь. После истечения времени открываем казан, крышку казана, проверяем готовность риса. Рис должен быть сваренный, но рассыпчатый. Тогда выключаем огонь и осторожно переворачиваем слой риса с остальными ингредиентами. Мясо вынимаем отдельно, чеснок тоже отдельно вынимаем. Все значит, потом перемешиваем все это, рис с морковкой. Потом кладем большую лягян, этот плов. Сверху кладем уже нарезанное мясо. Все, блюдо готово. К плову можно приготовить салат по вашему вкусу. Переведите.
So I will translate now. Okay, so we will cut the onion. We will cut the meat. And let's see, cut the carrots. Then we will use a big cauldron, and we will add oil first, and then we will fry onions for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna add lamb and also fry together with the onions for about another 10 minutes. Then we're gonna add carrots, and also we will fry for about 10 minutes. After that, we will add water. So carrots and meat must be fully covered by the water, and we will turn on the oven on high, so it must boil. And then we will add the salt, pepper, cumin, and we will add the two whole garlics. Once it's boiled, we will change and turn it on a low, and it's gonna boil for about 1 hour until the meat almost cooked. Then we're ready to put the rice. So we will wash the rice and we will again turn on the oven on high. We will start adding rice, and we will need to make sure that the rice is fully covered by the water. So if it's not enough water, we will need to add boiled water, and it must be about 1 inch up from the rice. And so you will turn on the oven on high, and you will cook this way for about 10-20 minutes. It depends on the rice. So it must be not fully cooked and not raw. So it's about 10-20 minutes. And then you will need to turn on the oven on low, and you will start mixing the rice very, very carefully, just the top. So you're not mixing the meat and carrots yet, so just the top of the rice. After that, you will put the chickpeas, and because the chickpeas are fully cooked, they are in the can. So you're gonna put the chickpeas and the raisins, and then you will cover the top of the cauldron and turn on the oven on a very, very low, and keep it that way for about 15-20 minutes. And then you will need to check in about 20 minutes. You will need to check if the rice is almost cooked or no. So you will open the top of the cauldron and taste 1 or 2 pieces of rice, and if it's still raw inside, like in the middle, if the rice is still raw in the middle, you can add like 2-3 tablespoons of boiled water and cover the cauldron for another 10 minutes. If it's already fully cooked, then it's ready. So you can turn off your oven, and you can, so you will take the meat out and put it on a chopping board, and then you will mix the rice and carrots and chickpeas very well. So you will mix that, and then you will put plov on the plate, and you will cut the rice, and you will cut the meat, excuse me, you will cut the meat and put the meat on the top, and put the garlic on the top. So my mom actually just put plov right now on the Uzbek plate. So we can show you right now how it looks like. So we put the rice, so you can see rice and yellow carrots. We use yellow carrots, and the chickpeas is here. I don't know if you see it. And then the meat, this lamb, and it's on the top. We put it on the top, and the whole garlic on the top. And this is very delicious meal. It's very healthy. It's high calorie meal, and it's very beneficial for weddings and big families, because it's actually becomes 2-3 times bigger, the whole meal, when it's cooked. So we also wanted to say that we calculated, and it's actually $2 per portion. It counts as $2 per person. So it's very, it's not expensive meal.
So shall we ask maybe participants to ask questions to you, if that's okay with you, Gulnoza?
Yes.
I had a question. Do you prefer to make it with beef or lamb?
Ну, по-разному. Вообще плов готовить с бараниной. Ну, можно и с курицей готовить, и с говядиной. Как вы любите?
So my mom says that she prefers using lamb, but she also cooks often with beef. And there are a lot of different styles of plov, So you can use beef or lamb or chicken. You can use yellow or red carrots. You can add, garlic, or you can remove garlic. You can add dried fruits. It really depends on your taste.
I was also wondering, does it matter? I always have trouble. I don't usually buy meat at the store, so I never know what to pick out. Does it matter like what part of the meat? Is there a certain cut? Like what should I be looking for?
Они спрашивают, какую часть мяса-то надо покупать для плова, она если пойдет на базар. Ляжка. So this time we used the leg which we bought in Costco. She says, my mom says you can use the chicken breast if you would prefer to cook it with chicken. My mom also wants to mention that it's up to you. You can use less meat or you can put more meat. So it depends on your taste as well.
My other question is there a difference between the yellow carrots and the red carrots flavor-wise, or is it just a color thing?
Она спрашивает, почему вот некоторые желтые, а некоторые оранжевые, какая разница? Разница же потому, что оранжевая, она больше слаще, правильно? Поэтому желтый.
Да, все желтое, он не сладкий.
The difference is, traditionally we use yellow carrots because it's better to use yellow carrots because red carrots are much sweeter than yellow carrots.
I'm a big sauce person. Like to put like sauce on it and condiments. Would you recommend any to put on it if you were to put anything on it?
Она спрашивает, а вы какой-то соус там готовите к нему?
Салат готовим.
Да, мы сейчас
покажем.
Okay, so actually no, there is no need for any sauce. So we don't add or use sauce, but what we do, we're gonna show you now. So
можно еще
we serve Uzbek plov with salads. Let me show you. So if you see, this is Uzbek salad, Chichu Salad. That's the name. So do you see, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have here tomatoes, white onions, so raw tomatoes and raw white onions, and also green onions. Okay, thank you. So green onions. And also today, we also decided to add, so green onions just like this. We're gonna eat like this. And then radish here. And red radish and white radish. Also, you can serve plov with plain yogurt.
I saw some people eating plov with ketchup. It's kind of an American version of of eating, but as Gulnoza and Rano said, normally like people don't eat like with sauce. Like it's usually fresh salad, and sometimes people add yogurt. Would you like also to, I don't know if you have like maybe some like, do you serve tea, or like how do you serve tea? Anything like what is the ritual of like tea rituals and tea ceremony?
Она спрашивает про чай, а потом после плова мы чай пьем. Он горячий чай, зеленый же или черный?
Зеленый чай. Можно и черный. Вкусный чай.
So yes, because it's very like a high calorie meal. Uzbek people, after eating plov, Uzbek people like drinking hot green or black tea, but we usually drink hot green tea.
And do you have like traditional cups in your place? No.
No, we don't have it here. Actually, we moved recently, so it's maybe somewhere in the garage, still in the box. Она спрашивает, у вас здесь пиалушки? По-моему, в гараже, да, все?
Ну, бокалы.
Yeah, we don't have it right now available to show you guys, but we might try to find it for the next session.
You see these cups,
Yeah, I see them.
and they have an you see the ornament. So it is normally like a picture, an image of cotton. As you know, like folks, Crystal, Diana, you are taking classes, and I told you about cotton production. So a lot of images you see on plates and cups is an image of cotton. But maybe Gulnoza and Rano, maybe you can talk a little bit like about tea rituals or something like, yeah, how would you serve tea? What is the tradition? What can surprise guests if they're not familiar with the Uzbek culture?
Regarding the tea, она спрашивает, какая вообще традиция насчет чая, узбекского чая в узбекской семье? Вот, как его подают, с чем пьют, когда пьют?
Чай пьют можно в любое время. Вот когда садитесь за стол, в первую очередь чай подают. Ну, в пилушках, там, не полный, а полпилушки. Подают в горячем виде.
So Uzbek people serve tea, hot tea, anytime. So you can drink tea in the morning or afternoon or evening. And when your guests come to your house, so the very first thing, according to our tradition, we would serve hot tea to your guests, and you will serve in those Uzbek cups that Dr. Zulfiya just showed us, and we will not put full cup. It must be like about half of the cup.
Его заваривают в фарфоровых чайники. Наш традиционный есть чайник фарфоровый. Его потом кладут, закрывают сверху шапочкой или полотенцем, чтобы он немножко постоял. Потом наливают, а пилушку постоит, потом разливают пилушку.
So when we make a tea, so we put tea in the teapot. First we rinse the teapot with the hot water. Сначала мы промываем чайник горячей водой. First we rinse the teapot, Uzbek teapot with the hot water, and then we put tea after that in empty teapot, and then we add boiled water inside the teapot, and then yes, like that teapot, that's correct, and it should stay for about 10 minutes. And we also like to cover the teapot with a special cover. It's like a hat for the teapot. And after that, we would serve the tea after 10 minutes when it's ready. And we usually put half of the cup.
So it's only half cup of tea is served to the guest, and it's rude to pour, like, to make your cup full. So, and people who may not be familiar with the culture, like they may not understand why it's not full, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Она говорит, вот те люди, которые не знакомы с традицией, узбекской традиции, они могут удивиться, почему чашки, а не полная чашка.
Ну, чтобы быстрее остывало, и чтобы почаще они просили чай, поэтому наливают понемножку.
So we serve half of the cup because it's gonna cool faster, and also, the guests will ask for more tea often.
And it will help the conversation to go on and on. So,
That's really interesting. Because Italian, and it's more like they try to overfill you with things. So it's like a way different. Like my mom will put more on your plate than you actually want, and will give you so much more to eat.
Yeah, it's different with tea, but in terms of food, it's all shared, and like it's plenty, and people ask like to eat.
I'm interested in hearing just, how it's been for you all here and like whenever you immigrated and what it's been like. I know that when my family immigrated here, there was nowhere for them to eat. And so that was something that was interesting for them, was being kind of removed from that culture. So yeah, just interested in how it's been in North Carolina for you.
Она спрашивает вас, вот вы переехали же в Америку, вот как вот с пловом дела в Северной Каролине? Вот вы готовите его, продолжаете так же готовить или как?
Да, конечно. Ну, здесь продукты, конечно, немножко другие, но вот мы это все пользуемся. Мы купили казан, у нас есть половник. В общем, все инструменты есть для плова.
So my mom says that even though we moved to another country, to the United States, we're still keeping our traditions, and we still cook Uzbek plov regularly, and all our family members like eating plov, and we even bought a big cauldron to cook plov, and we bought a big spoon for plov as well. And at the beginning it was, just 1 second, I have to сказать про эту желтую морковку мы же не находили вначале. So at the beginning we couldn't find the yellow carrots here. So we used red carrots, but now we know which stores. It's like, for example, Trader Joe's. They have yellow carrots available in the store. So we still, we cook Uzbek dishes. We cook Uzbek and Russian dishes. My mom is cooking almost like every other day.
That's great. And do you feel like you've been able to find, because I'm sure moving to another country can sometimes be kind of disconnecting. Have you been able to find a new community here?
So yeah, we do. We found new Uzbek friends, and they are from Tashkent also. And several times we actually cooked together, and we ate Uzbek plov here. Yeah.
I would like to share some pictures of plov as well, and maybe I know that we did like Gulnoza and Rano, because it's like 1 hour, it would be impossible to show the entire process, but this is how it starts. And normally that's what onions, meat, carrots, and onions are sauteed and like meat is added. And then after that, some water, some salt, and then carrots also added, and then chickpeas and garlic, and this is how it looks at the end. Would you like to talk about maybe weddings? Like you mentioned that plov is sold at weddings, and your introduction started with a very interesting story about the prince who was grieving, and that was interesting. I haven't heard about the story, but it's so fascinating. And the story of Avicena, who is actually was a famous scientist in Central Asia, and my family has 8 volumes of Avicena because he wrote all recipes. Food is medicine, so he wrote all the recipes for many illnesses that now scientists are using. So like maybe if you share a little bit about weddings and why, like how much plov is cooked, the like traditions, culture, how many people come to the wedding, who cooks pilau, like.
Yes, sure. Она говорит, что очень интересна была история про принца и про этого целителя нашего Авиценны. И они также хотят узнать побольше истории, значит, плова, как подается на свадьбу, в каких размерах вообще какой свадебный плов бывает, и во сколько, когда, кто готовит, как готовит,
Сейчас.
где готовит. Да, да.
Вот могу сказать про свадебный плов. Обычно подают, готовят плов рано утром. Значит, приглашают поваров. Обычно готовят мужчины. Они мастера. Значит, большой казан бывает. Обычно туда может даже 50 килограммов риса, целый мешок. Вот готовят они аж ночью. И вот к 6 часам уже плов должен быть готов. И мужчины приходят, и, значит, в лягянах подают каждому там по 2 порции, как на двоих. И это там помощников очень много. И вот они могут человек 200-300 человек накормить за раз. Кроме того, что на столе обычно бывают салаты, там печеные, чай обязательно подают. Потом, значит, одна партия уходит, приходит другая партия. Они, значит, меняются. Поели, уходят, попрощаются, поблагодарят. Другая партия садится. В общем, вот так это обычно раньше подавали дома, у кого были дворы. Сейчас, так как двору стало уменьшаться, то проводят это в ресторанах или в кафе. Там это проще. Уже накрыты столы, обязательно дают горячие лепешки, самсу, печеные сладости, конфеты, фрукты кладут. И потом дают чай. Зеленый чай или черный чай, это по желанию.
I will translate now. So my mom was talking about the wedding plov, the traditional wedding plov. So, okay, before the wedding, like early morning, even at night, several cooks start preparing plov. They can use like 100 kilograms of rice because they use a very, very huge cauldron and in old times, so, you know, people, they had like their own yards, backyards, and they were cooking plov outside in the yard, in their own yard. So, and at about 5-6 a.m. morning, they would start serving plov. And the main cooks were men for this dish. So traditionally, like several groups would come and eat the wedding plov. Like, for example, say, so total, they could feed about 300 or more people, 300 guests. So the first group, for example, can come at 5 a.m., about like maybe 40 people, 40 guests, and they would eat the plov and talk and congratulate with the wedding. And also they will also eat fresh Uzbek bread, patir or lepeshki, and also Uzbek pastries. And of course, at the end, they will drink green or black tea. And then they will thank for the plov and leave to go to work, for example. And then after that, another party would come, like another like 10 or 20 guests will come, and also they would do the same. So it can last between 5 a.m. and до скольки, с 5 до 8, да, подают?
Ну, еще утром подают, да, как с 6, как светает, то скольки, ну, до 10.
So it can last between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. morning until, you know, they.
2-3 часа.
So about 3 hours approximately. So that's the tradition for the wedding, that they start serving plov in the morning. And then, of course, they also would serve a fresh, separate Uzbek plov during the wedding in the evening as well. Что в свадебном плов кладут?
В общем, плов вообще нравится, как готовится, пропорция. Значит,
Нет, это в смысле, чем он отличается, свадебный плов? Там кладут же барбарис.
По-разному.
Ну, он готовится на огне.
Да. Ну, сейчас уже огня нету, на плитке готовится. Тоже
Ну,
на газу готовится. Да, большой. Вообще, да, большой казан. Требует, конечно, дрова. На дрова готовится. Значит, пропорция берется 1 к 1. Значит, если килограмм мяса, значит, килограмм риса, килограмм морковки. Ну и, соответственно, там масла немножко. Вот. И горох. Туда кладут где-то меньше, по 2. Ну, там вот как мы, полкило или что. Большой плов, конечно, не каждый может готовить, поэтому есть специальные повара, которых приглашают, они готовят. Уже заранее вечером приглашают людей, они готовят, значит, режут морковь. Потому что если на 50 килограмм рис кладут, значит, 50 килограмм мяса должно быть. Туда обычно кладут половину баранины, половину говядины. И 50 килограмм, значит, морковки. И вот они, мужчины, чистят и режут соломку, эту морковку заранее. Потом часов где-то 4-3 повара начинают готовить. И к 6 часам утра уже плов готов, люди уже знают и подходят по очереди, едят, запивают чаем, очень довольные, благодарят. Вот на плов могут приходить даже, знаете, если вот пригласили меня, я могу прийти с дочкой, я могу прийти с подругой, могу с соседом, там не скажешь, ты голос, что пришел. Кто придет, даже приходят незнакомые люди, приходят всех угощать плов.
So my mom was saying that for early morning wedding plov, anybody is welcome to come and eat and enjoy the plov. Like, for example, if you are invited, you can bring your friends or you can bring your relatives to come with you and enjoy the Uzbek wedding plov in the morning. And also my mom was saying that the real traditional plov in old times was cooked on a fire. So it's a really different taste, of course, when you cook on a fire. But right now, these days, so a lot of people, they, cook at the restaurant, not on a fire. And the wedding Uzbek food, Uzbek plov must be cooked by special cooks, because not everybody can cook wedding plov, because it's a huge proportion. So there are several cooks gathering and they cook. Oh, yes.
I like how you describe the ceremonies and the traditions and the importance of some understanding of nuances, and also I think tea ceremony enables people to talk a lot, and if tea is poured like half a cup, people will drink and continue having tea, and there is a plenty of food and abundance of food that is shared, and people eat a lot, and and at weddings also, like there are so many meals that are served that are very traditional as well, and there is plenty of music. And what is interesting, I think Gulnoza is talking about, like there is a plov that is served early in the morning at around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. And maybe around like 200 or 300 people will come, and they will have a meal and leave, and other ones are coming. So like you need to prepare a lot. It's not like for one family. But then there is a wedding itself in the evening where plov is served as well as many other meals. And like maybe 200 or 300 guests come over. And usually like people used to have like big backyards, and that's where the weddings used to be held. But now it's usually held in restaurants or cafeterias. But sometimes also in the backyards, as far as I know.
Yes, I don't have any questions, but thank you so much for sharing all of this. I'm excited to try making it. I know some people are really excited about making it as well. So looking forward to sending this to them. And thanks so much for sharing about your culture.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. We really appreciate you coming on. It was really nice meeting you guys.
Thank you. It was nice to meeting you, all of you as well. Спасибо, и было приятно познакомиться.
Нам тоже очень приятно познакомиться и рассказать вам о нашей традиции.
My mom says she also was
Thank
very
you.
to share with the recipe and the traditions.
Thank you, Gulnoza and Rano. And thank you so much for cooking and sharing your knowledge and traditions. It was so interesting to hear the story, especially like was the highlight of my day, I think.